Welcome to a brand new deep dive from Lilium Software Solutions AI-powered channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rita.
Today, we're going to tackle something pretty critical if you're managing real estate assets. That's the increasingly complex world of environmental, social, and governance regulations, ESG.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And we're going to explore a new solution that's been specifically designed to, cut through some of that complexity in the real estate sector.
Exactly. And just quickly on Lilium Software Solutions, they specialize in custom tech solutions. They really take a full 360-degree view of the whole project lifecycle.
Okay.
What's interesting about them, I think, is their focus on proprietary solutions, all developed in-house,
Right.
which means they offer multi-layered customized protection, and they really focus on making systems future-proof and scalable. Plus, crucially, clients keep total control over their data.
That data control point is huge these days.
It really is. And the company, it's led by CEO Amir and CTO Meir Brandwine. And, their adherence to standards like PMI, lean management, and ISO. It really shows a commitment to quality and efficiency.
Got it. So if you, our listener, are an asset manager, or maybe you're part of a real estate holding company, you are probably right on the front lines here. You're seeing these ESG regulations tightening up globally, aren't you? The demands are rising. From investors, tenants, the community, everyone expects more on sustainability and responsible practices.
That's precisely the setup. And that brings us to our mission for this deep dive. We really want to unpack NexusESG.
Okay.
That's Lilium's AI-driven platform concept. And we want to get into how it's actually engineered to help you navigate these pretty complex ESG requirements effectively.
All right, so let's start with the pain points, the challenges. It seems like real estate has some, unique hurdles compared to other industries for ESG compliance.
It really does. And what's fascinating is how these challenges look different depending on where you are in the world. Let me start with Europe.
Okay, Europe first.
Well, you've got the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, the CSRD. That's a perfect example.
Right.
It demands reporting on, get this, over 1,000 distinct data points.
1,000, wow.
Yeah. Everything from energy efficiency metrics to, community engagement details. Just think about the scale of collecting and managing all that data.
Absolutely. And It's usually not just one building, is it? You're likely managing diverse portfolios, lots of different types of assets, getting consistent, comparable ESG data across all of those.
Yeah.
That must be a significant undertaking.
It really is. And then you layer on things like the omnibus regulation, which adds more requirements around investment disclosures.
Another layer. Okay.
Plus, think about all the different places that data lives right now.
Yeah.
Property management systems, maybe financial records, utility bills, individual spreadsheets, scattered across different locations, maybe even different countries.
It sounds like trying to piece together a giant messy puzzle. And some pieces might be missing or don't quite fit.
That's a good analogy. And the resources needed right now just to manually gather and report this ESG data, the time commitment, the number of people involved, it's just not very efficient, is it?
No, it sounds incredibly resource intensive.
Agreed. Now, if we shift focus over to Asia, the challenges are different, but certainly no less significant.
How so?
Well, the regulatory landscape there is much more fragmented. You don't have one single directive like the CSRD covering everything.
Oh.
Instead, you've got varying requirements in places like Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, China.
So you're dealing with a patchwork of rules depending on where your properties actually are.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly complex to manage.
It is. And then on top of that, you have pressure from international investors.
Oh, okay.
They often bring their own specific ESG disclosure expectations, which might even go beyond what the local regulations demand.
So you're trying to satisfy local rules
Yeah.
and global investor demands simultaneously.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And we can't forget the various green building certifications that are really prominent in Asia. Things like LEED, Green Mark in Singapore, Beam Plus in Hong Kong.
Right. Lots of different standards.
Yeah, and managing and tracking compliance with all those different standards across a portfolio just adds another whole layer of work.
And I guess with climate change being such a huge global focus, there must be growing pressure to understand the specific climate risks for each property, especially in a region as diverse as Asia.
Exactly right. Property-specific climate risk assessment is becoming absolutely crucial. And just like we saw in Europe, the basic task of managing ESG data across multiple countries, each with its own standards and formats, well, it creates big hurdles for consistency and comparability.
Okay, so the picture is definitely clear. Navigating ESG for real estate is complex. It's demanding. So this is where NexusESG fits in.
This is exactly where it comes in.
Tell us about Lilium's approach then. How does NexusESG aim to tackle these challenges?
So, NexusESG is Lilium's concept for an AI-driven ESG data system. It's really engineered specifically to address these exact pain points we've just been talking about.
Okay.
And it's built around 5 core components designed to work together to, well, streamline and simplify the whole ESG data management process.
5 core components. All right, let's break those down. First one is data unification. What's that about?
Okay, imagine bringing all those scattered puzzle pieces we talked about, bringing them all together into one clear picture.
Right.
NexusESG is designed to gather your fragmented ESG data from all those different sources: property management systems, financial records, spreadsheets, whatever you use. The goal is to create a single, reliable source of truth for all your ESG information. This isn't just about saving time, though it does that. It also lets you understand your portfolio-wide performance more strategically. You might spot correlations or improvement areas you just couldn't see when the data was siloed.
So basically, no more wasting hours trying to match up different spreadsheets or figure out why numbers don't align between systems?
That's the idea. Eliminate those data silos, get rid of the inconsistencies, and give you a comprehensive, unified view across the whole portfolio.
That alone sounds like a huge time saver and a big step towards clarity. What's component number 2?
That would be the flexible reporting platform. So recognizing that diverse regulatory landscape we discussed.
Yeah, Europe versus Asia, et cetera.
Exactly. NexusESG offers highly adaptable reporting. You can actually tailor the report formats to meet the specific needs of different frameworks. So whether it's the CSRD and ESRS in Europe or those distinct country rules in Asia.
So it's not a rigid one-size-fits-all kind of report. It can genuinely adapt.
Precisely. That adaptability is key. It ensures you can stay compliant with today's regulations and be ready for whatever new standards might come down the line.
That's crucial, yeah. Things change so fast. Okay, number 3, local GPT for interactive analysis. Now this sounds interesting. GPT.
Yes. What's really powerful here is the integration of a local generative pre-trained transformer, a GPT. This basically lets users interact with their ESG data using natural language. Simple questions.
You mean like just typing a question in plain English?
Exactly. So instead of needing complex report generation skills or being a data specialist, anyone in your organization can just ask questions. Ask for insights, reports, summaries, whatever they need.
Wow.
It really democratizes access to your ESG data.
Democratizes access. I like that phrasing. So it means people across different teams, different levels, can get the ESG info they need without bottlenecks.
That's absolutely right. It makes the data much more accessible, much more actionable for more people. And that should lead to better informed decisions across the board.
Okay, fascinating. Component 4 is data spike detection with AI-driven cause derivation. That sounds like it does more than just spot problems.
It does. So NexusESG uses advanced algorithms to spot significant, unusual variations in your data, both historical and real-time. Those are the spikes. But here's the crucial part. It doesn't just flag the spike. It goes further. It tries to explain the causes behind that spike by correlating it with other data points it has access to.
Ah, okay. So an example.
Well, imagine the system notices a big jump in energy use. It wouldn't just tell you that. It might correlate it and say, this spike corresponds with high occupancy periods and data indicating a malfunction in HVAC Unit 3.
Got it. So it's not just something's weird here, it's something's weird here, and here's likely why.
Exactly. That allows for proactive management. You get insights into the drivers so you can take targeted action to fix the root cause, maybe even prevent it from happening again across other properties.
That's incredibly valuable. Moving beyond just flagging to understanding. Okay, finally, number 5, AI-driven sensitivity analysis. How does this work?
So instead of relying on, let's be honest, sometimes unreliable future predictions.
Right, crystal balls.
Yeah. NexusESG performs sophisticated sensitivity analyses using your actual historical and real-time data. This helps you understand how potential changes in various factors could impact your overall ESG performance. Things like, what if energy prices jump 20%? What if occupancy rates shift? What if a new regulation comes in?
So it models potential impacts based on real data patterns, not just guesswork.
Precisely. It helps you do much more robust scenario planning and risk management. Helps you make smarter, more strategic decisions about your assets based on potential outcomes grounded in reality.
Okay, that breakdown of the 5 components is really clear. We understand what NexusESG is designed to do. Now, let's explicitly connect this back to those initial pain points. How does NexusESG directly help those European real estate firms we talked about first?
Right. So for firms in Europe grappling with that complex CSRD.
The 1,000 data points.
Yeah, that one. NexusESG really aims to streamline compliance. Its automated data collection and its standardized reporting frameworks are designed to align specifically with ESRS, the European Sustainability Reporting Standards.
So it takes a lot of that manual burden off the teams.
That's the goal. Free up significant time and resources. And remember the diverse portfolios. It provides efficient data management across all those different properties. Plus, by automating a large chunk of the reporting process with AI, it optimizes how you use your people. Less tedious data entry, more strategic thinking.
Makes sense.
And because it's built to be adaptable, it helps ensure you're ready as EU regulations inevitably continue to evolve. And ultimately, better, more transparent reporting helps attract those ESG-focused investors. That's a real competitive edge.
Definitely a key benefit. Okay, now let's pivot to Asia. How does it address the specific challenges for firms operating there?
Well, that regional adaptability we mentioned is crucial for Asia.
With the fragmented regulation.
Exactly. NexusESG's flexible frameworks are designed to accommodate those diverse national requirements across different Asian markets. It's not just a European solution bolted onto Asia, it's built with that complexity in mind.
Okay, that's important.
And thinking about international capital, by enabling reporting that meets global institutional investor standards, it helps Asian firms boost their appeal.
Right. And those green building certs.
It streamlines managing and tracking those too. LEED, Green Mark, Beam Plus, all of them. Makes that process less cumbersome.
What about the climate risk aspect in Asia?
Good question. NexusESG is designed to provide property-specific climate vulnerability analysis tailored to the kinds of environmental threats prevalent in Asia, so it delivers localized climate risk intelligence.
Very useful.
And finally, it helps achieve greater consistency in reporting across borders, even when you're dealing with multiple countries with different rules.
So it really sounds like it's architected to be pretty comprehensive, addressing the specific regional differences between Europe and Asia.
That's the core idea. But what really makes NexusESG stand out, according to Lilium, is its unique value proposition. It's positioned as more than just another off-the-shelf ESG software.
Okay, what sets it apart then?
Well, first off, it's designed to be fully customizable. Lilium emphasizes tailoring it to the specific needs and strategic goals of your organization.
So not a one-size-fits-all approach.
No. They recognize a boutique asset manager has different needs than a huge global holding company. Customization is key.
Makes sense. What else?
Security and privacy are huge. It's engineered, they say, without vendor backdoors. The client maintains complete control over their sensitive data.
That's critical.
And it's built to be scalable, so it can grow with your business, whether you're small and expanding fast or already a large enterprise.
And integration. Always a big question with new systems. You don't want to have to rip everything out.
Absolutely. It's designed to be modular. That means it should integrate more easily with your existing IT setup, your existing property management systems. Less disruption, more efficiency.
Good to hear.
And finally, Lilium stresses their commitment to ethical development, responsible AI, responsible data management principles underpinning the whole thing.
So it's not just about the tech, but also the ethics behind it.
That seems to be a core part of their message, yes.
Okay. Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered the complex challenges of ESG compliance in real estate.
Really multifaceted challenges. We saw how the CSRD in Europe and that fragmented landscape in Asia create significant hurdles for you, the asset managers, and holding companies.
And we've explored how NexusESG, Lilium's concept, offers this AI-driven approach to simplify things. By unifying data,
Offering flexible reporting,
enabling that cool interactive analysis with the local GPT,
detecting anomalies and explaining the causes.
and providing that valuable AI-driven sensitivity analysis for better risk management. It seems really tailored to the specific needs of real estate.
Yeah, addressing regional differences, investor appeal, green cert management, climate risk. It covers a lot of ground.
So maybe here's a final thought for you, our listener, to consider. In this rapidly evolving ESG landscape, how could a tailored AI-powered solution like NexusESG do more than just keep you compliant?
Right. How could it actually unlock new avenues for sustainable growth, and perhaps make your portfolios even more attractive to that growing pool of ESG-focused investors.
Yeah, lots to think about.
Definitely. And if you are interested in exploring this further, maybe seeing how Nexus ESG could potentially benefit your organization,
Where should people go?
you can visit www.liliumsolutions.com. That's Lilium Solutions.com. Or you could email Amir L directly at amir@liliumsolutions.com, or the general office at office@liliumsolutions.com.
Okay.
And you can also connect with them on LinkedIn. Just search for Lilium Development Solutions.